Well, hey everybody, my name's Jason Dydynski, and well, as mentioned before, I am a professional public speaker, have a little bit of background in that, but I'm also the brand manager at Weekdone. And today I wanted to take some time to tell you guys a story. And no, I'm not going to give you the story of how you can turn your business from zero to hero in a night. That's impossible. And no, I'm not going to tell you about how the secret to boosting your productivity is cocaine. You laugh, but that was the technique in the 80s. But I'm actually going to tell you the story of Weekdone, how we learned to tell our story, and the lessons we learned along the way. Now, going back, I've actually been in Estonia for about 5 years now, and I started working at Weekdone about 3 years ago. I was originally in the sales team, and after a series of mysterious incidences, I worked my way up to brand manager. And with that, I was given a task to fix our messaging and better express our brand. Now, when I looked at that, I was like, oh, this won't be too much of a challenging task. All I have to do is ask around, read some of our old documents, update a few things, and check our competitors. But actually, it ended up being a lot more than that. As I began talking to our different teams, I noticed that no one had any idea on how to actually describe our product. Basically, if I would ask someone from the sales team, they would give me one story, while marketing would give another. If I went up to product team, they would actually just start stuttering and panic and run away. So I realized that we actually had a lot more work to do than I initially thought. So I had to think of a way to fix our messaging that hadn't been really reevaluated for a long time. And now I'm actually doing my PhD as well. I study semiotics, and while my specific topic is the perception of cuteness, one of the things we actually learn in semiotics as a whole is the idea of storytelling and narrative. Now, storytelling and narrative, as I'm sure you've heard today, are kind of a business buzzword, where everyone goes, oh, you need to start doing storytelling, or oh, the narrative is important. But no one ever really actually says what it is. Now, to take you all back to your high school English classes, we'll go over a really basic lesson. So a story, in its simplest form, is a series of connected events with some meaning behind it. Now, the difference between a story and a narrative is a personal take on it, or the perspective behind it. So for every story, you can have multiple narratives. So take, for example, Game of Thrones. While it's telling the one story of everything going on in the universe, each narrative of Jon Snow or Arya add to the story and give you a different path along the way. Now, the two basic parts of a story are characters, and you also have your plot. Now, these two are very important for learning to tell your business story. And as you think about them, you might wonder, oh, what exactly do these have to do with business, and how do they fit into my flow? Well, they're incredibly important. First, your plot is actually really heavily related to your customer journey and customer flow. When you're reevaluating the traditional stories of what a plot looks like, a lot of times you get examples of Cinderella, where, oh, she starts as just a poor girl, then a magical fairy comes saves her, you have the rising action. Then she goes to the ball, you have your climax. And from there, as the story goes on, you have your resolution. Those different stages of the story actually coincide with your product journey and the user flow. So that initial beginning stage where you're just Cinderella cleaning up dirt, well, that is actually your awareness stage. As you get to action, when people either get your product or sign up or are interested in what you have to say, Well, there you have your climax of the story. You have your aha moment. And as they begin using and figuring things out, they have their resolution and they get to the final points of it. So within Weekdone, we originally had approached things not from the perspective of a story and how you learn it along the way, but actually we were rather just giving simple facts of what we are. While this may have been a product manager's dream, it's not how the average person thinks. A lot of times we view things in the realm of a story. Now, when you look at your characters, oftentimes businesses think, especially startups, that, oh, we're the hero, we're gonna come into their world, we're gonna change things up, we're gonna save the world, fix everything, and be a hero to these people. But the problem is, in the story, your business isn't the hero. The person using your product, the person interested in you, they're the main character of the story. They're the ones who have to go out in a journey and experience the world. Unless your product is people give you money and you go save the world, then you're not necessarily the hero, and you need to reevaluate that. As we actually began to approach that, we took the role of talking to our customers. I know, terrifying, right? But actually in hearing that, we had learned that people viewed us more as the person who is a fairy godmother helping them out, a personal secretary or an assistant, while we originally thought we were superheroes. We literally used superhero marketing for the long time, where we explained how we were Professor Xavier and we were collecting a unique team of office mutants to help revitalize your workforce. But that actually wasn't the case. People were interested in a story and a plot and characters that related to them in their daily life and helped them solve their problems. So I think that's the really important thing to get out of it. As you look at how your business is, you look at yourself as a story, focusing on the plot and the characters you have is incredibly important. The different narratives are the different customer journeys you have along the way, and creating a plot line for each of them is so incredibly important. And now, as you begin looking at your role, how your startup functions, you might need to take a step back. While the theme of this event might be from zero to hero, you sometimes have to remember that it's not all about you all the time, but it's actually about getting your customers and the people you care about from zero to hero. Thank you.